What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the NG Models June 2024 releases. Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, these hints are coming out the same day that the Lufthansa inaugural at Minneapolis is taking place. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there because I have some scheduling conflicts right now, so I wish I could be there, but it just didn't exactly line up in my schedule. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the hints that have been announced. We have a total of 27 planned releases this month, so a nice trend in the right direction for NG with these release sizes decreasing in size because these 40 to 50 release sizes have got to stop, and I'll talk a little more about that towards the end of the video. So we have 2 A321s, 6 A330s, 3 A350s, 2 737-700s, and 2 737-800s, 2 737 MAX 7s, and then another 3 737 MAXs. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be MAX 7s or 8s because this NG didn't correctly label them for some reason. Then we have the 767 series, which is a new mold debuting this month. We have 1 767-200, 2 767-300s, and 1 767-400. So we have another manufacturer jumping into the 764 train with their new mold. 2 777-300ERs, and then 1 787-9. So it's all Airbus and Boeing in this release. No Lockheed, TriStars, there's no Tupolevs, no other manufacturers, none of that. So we do have a nice change here, but definitely could be a different manufacturer too in there, but that would make the release size a bit too big again. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at what has been announced. The first release that we have up on the agenda, we have a TAP Air Portugal A330-200 with the Star Alliance livery. And for some reason, the Star Alliance logo is not centered on the tail. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be like that. And then we have an Egypt Air A330-200. This one is also in the Star Alliance livery, and this one also has a bit of an off-center Star Alliance logo. And then we have a Qantas Freight A330-200 freighter. This is in the new livery, and I haven't seen this yet. I did not know that they did operate this, so that's pretty interesting. Then we have a China Southern A330-300. This is with the Guangdong Laishi special livery, and this is an Ultimate Collection model. So if you didn't see what happened with the last release, NG, they had to cut back on a significant number of Ultimate Collection releases. And if I can find the list, I'll put it up on your screen. But they had to cut back on a ton of models and not make them Ultimate Collection anymore because of the increased production costs and all that. So there's definitely some things going on behind the scenes that we don't really know about. Then we have an Airbus Beluga XL, another one of these. It seems like NG is really interested in doing all of them. The only difference between them being just a different number on the tail. So this is number 1. And I think they have done pretty much all of the Airbus A330 Beluga XLs. Now they just need to get an A300 mold and then do the older Belugas. Here's a Kuwait A330-800. This will be pretty nice. I haven't seen anyone really touch up on this subject yet, to my knowledge. Maybe Phoenix has done this once before, but I can't recall. And then we do have another one as well. This one just has a different registration. And then next up we have a Sichuan Airlines A350-900. This is the first Panda-themed livery of the Panda Route series, which they've already done one of these before, so I'm not sure, why we would need that so soon. But hey, that's how we'll roll here. And I think we have another release here. Yep, this is the same plane, just without the Ultimate Collection branding. We have a China Southern A350-900. This one has the Ultimate Collection branding. And then, once again, we have no Ultimate Collection with the next release. There's the same plane and everything. Then we have an Argentinian government 737-700. Low-vis livery is what it's wearing. And then a China United 737-700. So far, not seen anything that's bloating the release size. I think maybe the Ultimate Collection's already done it, but nothing too big yet. Hainan 737-800 up next. This one is with eyebrow windows and no winglets. I think they did that in a recent release. I could be wrong on that, but they do so many of them. It's not even funny. We have another one up next. This one just has a different registration. And what? Okay, they just duplicated the same plane across the database here. So we have 2 listings of the same plane and same item number. So that is something that they clearly missed. Then we have a Grand China 737-800, which pretty much looks like a carbon copy of the Hainan Airlines livery, just with different titles slapped on. It doesn't really provide much description. And then there's another Grand China 737-800 just with a different registration after that. Another Hainan 737, so they're really going heavy on the Hainan releases. This is with the Hainan Free Trade Port special livery. And then we have another one. Good Lord, how many specials here? This one is the Tmall.com Nevers Family special livery. All right, and finally we have some new aircraft here. We've got another MAX 7. This is in the Boeing house livery, so nice refreshing change from the Southwest they did before. And there's another one after, just with a different registration. Then move into Gemini 737 MAX 8 up next. Just a regular livery, and this one has a sticker just underneath the cockpit windows, the 2000th Boeing aircraft for China. Here's a first look at the 767, and it is a really good release here, the American 767-200 with the luxury liner titles. I'll have to think about picking this one up. And then next up we have, if the image will load here, which it's not loading for me for some reason. There we go, now we got it loaded. It's a Delta 767-300, equipped with Pratt & Whitney 4000 engines. Then we have another one after that with the CF6 engines. So different engine choices, but cosmetically they're not going to differ too much. And then we have another United Eva Blue 764, and the colors definitely look interesting on here, but again, this is just a CGI, so I imagine it'll look different on the actual production plane, so we'll see how that turns out. I'm planning to get the Panda release, because I know those are out already, and I'm not sure if I want to wait for NG to get this release, because I haven't exactly seen a sample for the 767 series yet. I don't know how well they did on the 764 especially. Then we have an Orange Pride, a new Orange Pride, KLM 777, another one done by NG. And then this one is the older Orange Pride livery, which I already have from Gemini, so won't be replacing that. And then we have another Orange Pride. This is the one with the 100th anniversary sticker on it, which did not last very long. I think that this is the variant that I have, actually, the one with the 100th anniversary sticker. And then we have the Hainan Airlines 7879 with the IHG Hotels and Resorts livery. Then we have a Korean Air 777-300DR. This is the World Expo 2020, or 2030, excuse me. This is the Busan livery, and I think, yeah, this has Blackpink on it. This was announced on WeChat, which is a Chinese social media platform, by NG previously, so we knew this one was coming, which I've heard a couple people, they've been really after NG because they really want them to do a regular livery Korean Air 777, so I'm not sure why they haven't really touched on that subject yet, and we have another special here. There's another one as well with Ultimate Collection branding, and that is everything in this release. So I think we went a little bigger here, about 30 or so planes, compared to the initial hint set, more than likely because of the Ultimate Collection models, and just that increasing the overall size of the release. So let me count real quick as to how many we have. So we have 34 actual releases in this set, so that's an increase by 7 from the initial hint list that was provided by NG yesterday. So overall, this is looking like a run-of-the-mill NG release. A lot of Chinese aircraft, which has been kind of their big market that they've been focusing on. It seems like that's what they really cater to the most, and also the US market as well. So there's been a lot of complaints I've been seeing about NG doing these two markets, and that just seems to be the markets that they're really catering to right now, and I'm not sure what we could really do to have that be changed anytime soon, because to me, if those are the markets they want to focus on, by all means, that's definitely something that they can do, and there's really nothing to stop them from doing it. The European market has really lacked in this release. As a matter of fact, yeah, really the only releases they got was the TAP Air A330-200 Star Alliance and the Beluga XL and the KLM 777 Orange Prides, the 3 different variants, which I'm not sure why you had to do them all in the same release, but hey, that's just kind of how they roll. And then just taking a look here, nothing really of interest to me. It's been kind of the norm with NG as of late. The only thing that would pique my interest would be the American 762. They did pretty good on the polish with the MD-80, so that turned out really nice, but I'm still waiting for them to do the black nose variant before I pick up an NG MD-80, or if they do another subject that I'm desiring, ahead of someone like Gemini Jets, because they've been on quite the trend with the MD-80 as of late. So we'll see what happens with that. The United 764 Evo Blue, kind of wish they went with a different choice because obviously, as I said, Panda Models has done it, and then Gemini is obviously planning on doing it as well. I'd like to see them do maybe something like a Continental Globe 764 or even a Continental 764 to try and fit that, but Evo Blue I'm sure will be pretty nice, and we'll see how NG does on the 764 and also the other 767 variants. And then just kind of screening around here, yeah, nothing else really that just kind of stands out to me. It's kind of an release, to be honest. But the 762 for American is pretty nice, and I will be after that, hopefully, whenever that comes out. But I'm just not, I can't pre-order anything from NG right now because they've just had chronic delays as of late, and it seems like they got a little better at it. But part of it has really been due to the large release sizes and them trying to do. They've been trying to bite off more than what they can chew, and it's a bit unfortunate. But hopefully they can really resolve this over the summer, because I think this summer is going to be really key for NG and as to how they're going to succeed in the future. If they don't really nail it here, then they're going to be in some trouble later in the year and beyond. And hopefully we don't get to that point, but I feel like there's some really key moments coming up for NG that they really need to be perfect on, or else it's not going to go well for them. One of the big things as well, as I mentioned, the Ultimate Collection, as they had to scale back on a lot of that with the last 2 release sets. I think they went back on like 20 some odd Ultimate Collection releases and just marketed them as regular models, including one of the American MD-80s, which was a bit unfortunate, but that's just how they had to do it. And I think part of the problem there resides in the Ultimate Collection and them doing too many of them. I just think the Ultimate Collection works when you have maybe just a small chunk of the release set marketed as such, but when you're doing like 80 or 90% of the entire release as Ultimate Collection, that's where a lot of problems lay for me personally, and I'm sure others can agree with that as well. Because they're doing too many of these Ultimate Collection releases, and with that, it just loses its luster. It's not as special as it is if it were to be like 4 or 5 planes out of the, say, 30 or so that they do in a single release, compared to having to be like 20 or 25 out of the 30 to 35 that they're releasing every month. It just doesn't work. And the other thing, too, obviously, the big release sizes, they really got to cut down on that. And it seems like they are trending in the right direction. 34 is still a little too big in my eyes. I think they need to be around the 25 to 30 window if they want to be, right in the wheelhouse, like what Gemini Jets does for their total releases. That's about the same amount that they do across both 1 to 400 and 1 to 200. Gemini has got a pretty good consistency nailed down with their releases where they do 10 of each scale, and I think that's probably something that NG would want to look into long term, especially once they get more 1 to 200 molds out for production. It's something that they should probably take a look at and follow, because it would just mean that their business would probably last a lot longer than if they were just kind of doing this mishmash of releases over and over and over again, and a lot of repetition too, which I think, in my eyes, doesn't really need to be done anymore. But again, as I've said, NG can release whatever they want, so not really something I can control, but I can just provide like feedback and whatnot, and it's up to them if they want to put that to good use or just sort of disregard it and continue doing what they're doing. And I guess the same could be said for the release sizes as well, but it is something that they should seriously take a look at and make sure that they're still making them a little smaller, because again, 34 is a bit too big, but it is much better than having 51 or 53 planes in the same release. That was just way too much and way too much to look at. So I'm glad that NG has started to trend in the right direction with the release sizes, and hopefully they can start balancing out some of the representation of the releases as well, just so that we can hopefully limit the amount of complaints. But again, if NG wants to keep releasing the same planes, there's really nothing stopping them, and I certainly can't do anything about it either. So that's pretty much it for this release video. A lot of rambling there at the end. But as I said, the only pick of interest for me would be the American 762, which I'll take a look at when the photos come out. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.